Yeah. Uh.
Welcome to the G Squad Chronicles podcast, where we have frank discussions about life, love, and everything in between. My name is Gail, and I am your host and captain of the G Squad. To my existing tribe, thank you for continuing to ride with me and welcome home. To those new to the squad, welcome, and I'm delighted that you're here. Now, remember, if you like the content that we share, please share our Spotify link with your family and friends. And if you're viewing this content on YouTube, please remember to like the video and click to subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified whenever we upload new videos. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the DACA program so that we can gain a better understanding of that program. And we're going to do that through the eyes of a dreamer. We hear a lot about the program, and because many of us haven't been directly impacted by it, we don't really understand the impact that it has on these young men and women who were brought here as children, many of them as babies. So we know that the DACA program, which stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, was put in place by the Obama administration in 2012 so that innocent children who were brought here to America would be given the opportunity to work, and it allows them protection from deportation while they're under the program. It doesn't, however, give them legal status as citizens, nor does it provide any right to stay here permanently. So these kids have grown up here as Americans. They identify as Americans. Some of them only speak English, and most have no memory of any other country. So today we're going to talk to Maria. Maria was brought here. How old were you when you came here?
I was 2.
Okay, so she came to America when she was 2 years old. Now, when did you first realize that you were unauthorized to be in this country as a child? At what age you think that you realized it?
So it was always a conversation that we had with my parents, and how I was a little bit different compared to my peers, to other family members around me. But I didn't really realize the impact that would have on my life until I started applying for college. And I realized that I wouldn't have the same opportunities as others. At the time, my senior year, I was also worried about possibly losing DACA altogether, because Trump had just went into presidency. And so that was one of his first actions, was to stop the program. So I was worried about not being able to go to college, not being able to work, to maintain myself, to pay for college.
Okay. Well, that must have been really horrifying. Do you have any memories at all of Mexico or any other country? Do you have any memories of that?
I know I was 2 and I haven't had the opportunity. Well, but I said I can't leave the country without being able to come back. So I have never gone to Mexico. I don't remember anything. It's just based off of what I've been told and movies and things like that.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you were brought here in search of a better life for your family, and you can't blame anyone for wanting that. We all want that for our children and for our loved ones. We all want a better life, and we all want to escape any type of danger. So I commend whoever brought you here for trying to give you better than they had. So that's commendable. But so you're here now. And so tell us about the process of DACA. So how often do you have to renew it? How does that work? What are the steps that you have to go through to renew being here or being able to stay here? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes. So I initially applied when I was 15, and it was a pretty lengthy application. We had to prove that I had been here consistently since I was 2. They asked us for a lot of documents. And then after that, we have to renew every 2 years. They have a $500 flat fee to be able to renew.
Okay.
And then before 2022, we would have to submit the application for a lawyer. There are a lot of great lawyers that offer their services for free or at low cost. Just recently, they opened up renewal applications online. So that cut the cost of the attorney. But it is a pretty lengthy application. Sometimes they ask for fingerprints, passport pictures. You have to be able to explain to them why you deserve to be here, what you need to work, what you've been doing with your time. And that's every other year.
Okay. So, well, that seems like, it's obviously worth doing, but it seems a little scary not knowing, it seems like you might live kind of like with fear of, is this going to be the day that somebody says, that the program is going to be over? Talk to us a little bit, though, about, do you know anyone who's been able to come off of the program and gain citizenship? Have you heard of that happening?
So me personally, I don't know anybody else on DACA. So it's been a little bit difficult on my journey because I don't have anybody else to go to advice for or for them to share their experience with me, how they've managed to get citizenship or how they got through college or things like that. So I don't have any other resources. But I do know that there are a lot of kids and young adults that are on DACA.
Oh yeah. I know that from my research that there are over 3 million Dreamers residing in the United States right now. But surprisingly, only about 643,000 of them are actually registered under the program. Why do you think so many don't register for the DACA program? Is it fear, or what do you think keeps people from registering for the DACA program?
Well, I know for some it's a financial issue, being able to
the $500. Yeah. Okay.
And then for the initial application, you do need to, I would suggest paying for a lawyer so they can fill out that initial lengthy application, getting all the paperwork in. Others might not have all the documents or proof that they asked for. And they do have to review it and approve it every time.
Okay. So how long does it take to hear back? So you do the paperwork, you fill everything out, and then how long does it take before you hear back that yes, you're renewed again?
It takes a while. They suggest to submit the renewal application anywhere between 180 days to 120 days before expiration date. So that way you don't run the risk of your permit expiring and then not being able to work. But within that time frame, it's a very anxious time frame, being scared that they won't renew it for whatever reason, or even worse, that they'll take the program away while you're in the process of renewing.
Oh, I'm sure that it scares me just thinking about it. And I'm not on DACA, but just the thought of it, I can imagine how scary that must be. So let's just do some statistics right now. DACA recipients include doctors, nurses, entrepreneurs, first responders, and the list just goes on and on. They make up 200,000 essential workers, including 27,000 alone in the healthcare field, who worked on the front lines at the height of the pandemic, which is why papers were filed with the Supreme Court warning them of the risk to public safety and health if DACA recipients were suddenly they were open to deportation during the pandemic. Why do you think some officials want to eliminate DACA? Now, I'm just curious, when many of them themselves have ancestors who came into this country as immigrants, why do you think so many of them are seeking to block the DACA program?
I think it's because they have a negative image of why we come to this country and what we can offer for this country. And while some have made mistakes, DACA, I would say, is mainly for those that are coming over here for pure intentions of being able to work and get an education and provide a better future for themselves, their families, and society overall.
Okay. I love that. I think that's good because the program is designed, like you said, for those of you who want to come here to work, they want to contribute to this country, they want to educate their children. And obviously you believe there should be a path for that. So
Yes.
yeah. Okay. So the attempt to pass the DREAM Act was unsuccessful, and it would have allowed legal status to certain undocumented immigrants who were brought here as children and who went to school here. The term dreamers was named after the unsuccessful bill that did not pass. So DACA recipients are parents to, I think, something like over 250,000 US children who were born here, but their parents are in the DACA program. So do you think that these people expect these parents of these US citizen children to just leave the country and reapply and leave their children here? I'm just trying to understand the logic, or what you think might be the logic of what they think, because a lot of these DACA programs, people have children here that were born here. So what do you think the thought is around that?
I think it's a little bit unrealistic to expect us to leave and go and to a country where we essentially escaped from because of the violence or the economical situation or whatever the case may be. And for a lot of us, we have never experienced another culture, another country.
That's right.
Than America. For me personally, I know if they made me leave for quite some time, I wouldn't really know what to do for
like
work.
Where would you go?
Right.
You don't know anybody there, or you're just supposed to stand in the middle of the street. I mean,
Right.
Yeah. I get it, because I can't imagine if somebody said to me, well, you really weren't born here legally many years ago when you were born. So we've got to send you back to this country, a country I've never been to, don't know anybody there. I mean, what are you going to drop me off in the airport? I mean, it doesn't even make sense to me. So I can't even make sense of it. So what would you like to, as a dreamer and as a member of DACA, what would you like to see happen? What do you want to see happen for DACA participants?
I would love to be able to get just, even if they don't provide us a path to citizenship, it would be nice if they would just provide us some more human rights, like being able to vote. We do contribute to society by paying taxes every year on every check, but we're not allowed to vote. So it kind of just feels like our voice is silenced in America. Okay. And we do make up a large portion of that.
What about, so you pay taxes, so you pay Social Security and all that, but you can't collect Social Security. Is that right? Or can you?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. And then we can't vote either. We don't get any federal benefits. So that would include food stamps, financial aid to be able to go to college.
Okay.
Let me see what else is a federal. Social Security is a federal benefit.
Right,
we wouldn't be able to get that. So it would be nice to just be able to get a couple more human rights. But I think we all the dreamers could agree that we are appreciative that they do at least let us work to be able to.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I think we can all agree that America is a great country, even with its faults. And I'm hopeful that she continues to live up to the values set by the Statue of Liberty, that for hope, freedom, and equal opportunity to all who would join and remain to be true to our values of this great nation. So I couldn't imagine living anywhere else, because I do believe that, we're one of the greatest countries in the world. But I want to thank you, Maria, for being open and helping us to gain a better understanding of what DACA is and what it's like for a dreamer, and your fears and your hopes and all those things. So thank you so much for being on the G Squad Chronicles podcast. And thank you, G Squad, for joining us today. And I hope that you learned something from our guests, or that at the very least that we created a sense of curiosity so that you can go and do more research on your own and dig a little deeper into this very complex issue, because it's always my intention to enlighten my squad. So until next time, be blessed, be empowered, and be true to your purpose. Bye, G Squad.
Yeah.